A ver. Hostia, esto es full in-game, ¿eh? Hostia, se ve bien.
Unlike some of its peers, The Forest, the survival horror game from Canadian-based studio Night Games, delivered on not just the popular gather and craft survival game format,
si
but
vinculas
also
tu
added
cuenta
a
de Pottermore
surprisingly
se supone
complex
que podrás usar tu varita de Pottermore, no sé si el Patronus si tu casa se queda en saludos mamá huevo.
Pottermore. Sal a tocar césped, cabrón. Pottermore. Broma. Halloween, un abrazo, muchas gracias. Es que yo no sé lo que es eso y no tengo varita ahí.
and equally bananas story
Que broma,
featuring
que broma,
cannibals and
me apetecía
mutants.
decir
With
eso.
the immediate arrival of its long-awaited sequel, Sons of the Forest, comes not only the pressure
Te quiero
to
mucho,
top the
Halloween, no
beloved
te enfades.
experience of the original, but also to add some new and increasingly wild surprises. And based on the 5 hours that I've played so far, I'm not only excited about the
Me
sequel.
hago un test después de en qué casta debería estar. Aunque yo ya sé a qué casa voy. Yo voy a ser Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw, porque son inteligentes, guapos, divertidos y carismáticos, como yo. Como yo. Y les encanta la ciencia y el espacio, el universo. Como a mí. Soy yo, tía. Soy literalmente yo.
Potential, but also confident that Night could revolutionize the survival genre.
Halfway, no te enfades, por favor.
The Forest begins with a simple premise. You've
Vale,
crash
espérate, aquí
landed on a
pone.
mysterious
Esto es de
peninsula and
2018.
begin your
Nos está
quest
contando
to
la vida
survive
de.
at all
O sea, de un
costs.
juego que nos
There was
acabamos de
also
pasar
the
hace nada.
optional objective of finding your kidnapped son,
Sí.
a task that would take you
Tienes que
down
encontrar a tu
wild and
hijo,
disturbing
nosotros lo
narrative
encontramos. Y yo creo que la segunda parte va a ser sobre el hijo. En plan, vas a encontrar al hijo, seguramente.
Treating your son for a missing billionaire. It's a basic idea, but one that allows you to jump straight into the action, allowing players who have no intention of progressing the rescue mission to solely
Te quedaría ir a Hufflepuff con esos pelos. Mods, ¿podéis banar a una persona que se llama OZZ del chat? Gracias.
focus on building their very own lakeside resort with some friends right away. Just like its predecessor, you can play, build, and cause chaos with 7 of your friends in co-op. But you can still see everything Sons of the Forest has to offer in single player. The big difference this time, though, is that even when you play solo, you're not alone. Enter Calvin.
Calvin, vas a estar acompañado.
At the very start of Sons of the Forest, you're introduced to Calvin,
¿Qué le
an
pasa?
elite soldier.
Parece Piqué, ¿eh? Y no lo digo en plan de... ¡Es un Casio! No, es literalmente Piqué. ¿Qué le pasa? ¿Qué le pasa?
Who not only survived the helicopter crash that stranded you on the island, but is also very much along for the survival ride as an AI companion. While Calvin has suffered some major head trauma that
Los seguidores de Piqué, después de escuchar la tiradera.
has left him unable to speak, his injuries have not, perhaps surprisingly, prevented him from being extremely helpful. In an apparent effort to replicate the
Y te va a acompañar Piqué en toda esta aventura. Tócate los huevos. Tócate los huevos. O sea, dicen que te va a acompañar aunque juegues offline, ¿sabes? O sea, es un NPC que te va a estar siguiendo, sí o sí.
Such as chopping down trees and gathering logs. During my hands-on, the value of having an AI companion was immensely noticeable. There was a huge benefit to sending Calvin off to find resources, while my co-op partner and I focused on designing our structure. I'd regularly turn around to find a fresh pile of logs for our disposal, with Calvin already on his
A mí
merry
eso no me gusta mucho, lo de tener a un tío contigo todo el rato. Uf. Ojalá puedas pegarle una paliza, ¿sabes? Tirarlo al río y que nunca le veas más. Para poder vivir la experiencia survival 100%, ¿sabes? Ojalá.
to collect more. Not only will Calvin somewhat provide company for solo players, but he offers helpful, time-saving resources even when in a group, putting a significant dent in the busy work of
No sé qué es el Atomic Heart. Muchos me habéis dicho que lo vea, pero no sé qué es todavía, tío. Ahora lo chequeo.
Calvin has a mind of his own though, well, at least to some degree. He sits down to rest when he gets tired and seeks water when he's thirsty. He'll also become upset if you treat him poorly, which makes him less.
Vale, dice que el tío te puede ir a buscar agua si tienes sed, que si le tratas mal, él te trata mal, o sea...
productive and thus decreases the value as a companion. And if you decide you're not interested in having a worker bee along for the ride, you have the option to disable Calvin in the most realistic way possible. Shoot him in the head and you'll remove him from your session.
Dicen que le puedes pegar un tiro en la cabeza y se pira de tu partida. ¡Qué guapo! ¡Hostia! Bien, justo lo que he dicho, chat. Podemos matarle. De puta madre.
permanently. You're limited to one Calvin per multiplayer session, so the dream of a legion of Calvins can't be fulfilled. But the developers...
Y solo puedes tener un Calvin por cada sesión multiplayer. O sea, no... Si te metes con 4 amigos, no van a tener cada uno un pique ahí para ayudarles, ¿sabes? Sino que spawnaría solo uno. Siempre habrá uno, juegues como juegues.
assured me that there are other companions you can find as you progress, each with their own unique AI. During my playtime, I caught a glimpse of Virginia, a mutant with 3 arms and 3 legs. She quickly scouted
Virginia,
once I
la que te cuento, tú. La que te cuento.
approached her and definitely had more of a skittish sensibility than Calvin. But the developers told me that she can eventually be recruited and will become
La
attached to you
puedes
over
reclutar.
time should
Oh, ¿qué cojo? ¿Hola? Claro, la tía como tiene 3 brazos puede llevar una escopeta en las 2 manos y en una tercera mano una pipa, ¿sabes? Una Glock. ¡Qué guapo!
you be kind to her.
Este sí que quiero
They
que me
compared
acompañe.
her instincts to that of an elusive and independent cat, which stands in opposition to Calvin's lovable and obedient dog. The AI improvements aren't limited to just companions though. On our expedition we came across several groups of enemies, ranging from a cluster of cannibals to a mob of monstrosities, each demonstrating their own impressive decision-making abilities. It felt like my enemies were thinking and making active decisions based on not only
Dicen que la inteligencia artificial de los enemigos ha mejorado un poco. O bueno, bastante, se supone.
Galvin, te ayuda a hacer deberes de sobrevivencia Rubius. ¿Lo podemos matar? ¿Lo podemos matar? Holy shit.
my actions,
Sí, soy.
but also their situations
Que le
and
jodan, hombre. Yo
environment.
quiero
Particularly in
una experiencia
first-person horror
survival de
games,
verdad, no
enemies
a un tío ahí que está babeando y sangrando por los oídos ayudándome. Quita, coño. Le tiro por el barranco, vamos.
generally have 2 modes of behavior, patrol and attack. But in Sons of the Forest, some foes would just be extremely wary and just interested in what
Pero si tú pediste ayuda al chat, no es lo mismo, gente. No es lo mismo. No es lo mismo. Yo fui una buena persona y hice que seguidores míos me pudieran conocer a través de un videojuego, porque soy un streamer humilde, chicos. Fue como una quedada y les di una lección bastante valiosa de lo que es la vida, de que cuando trabajas y te esfuerzas en algo, consigues recompensas.
watching what I do, while others would charge in aggressively, only to back down when things didn't go their way. I saw enemies consoling their fallen friends, changing their clothes depending on the weather conditions, and even trying to destroy my newly erected home when my back was turned. It was clear to see that the enemy's
Y de paso construyeron toda mi base. Pero porque ellos quisieron, porque ellos también eran humildes, como yo.
brains were not only following coded rules, but also adapting their thoughts based on the external influences. The
Eres
developers
Slytherin,
explained
ahora
to me
hacemos
that
la prueba
certain
esa.
enemies with
A ver de
leadership
qué
qualities
casa...
can influence the decisions
Aunque
of
me
others,
va a
and
sudar.
even
Yo
promote
voy
ideas
Ravenclaw
in
en el
their
juego
ranks, such
100%.
as religion, and that each individual has their own tastes, desires, and proclivities. From my small taste of Sons of the Forest, I didn't really get a sense of how deep this system is, and how much it'll affect your experience. But the teasers I saw filled my mind with dozens of possibilities. I saw enemies adapting to changing their ecosystem and weather conditions, which now cycle through seasons that change as you progress.
Dicen que habrá distintas épocas del año. O sea, habrá, parece ser, invierno, otoño, verano, primavera, todo esto en el juego, y que irán cambiando, obviamente no a la lentitud de la vida real, pero que habrá cambios. O sea, que lo que en un
De las
principio
vibras de
estaba...
Hufflepuff Rubkeku.
Ahora lo veremos. Lo que en un principio era como es un sitio súper verde y tal, lleno de flores, puede acabar siendo esto, ¿sabes? El bioma de nieve.
I even
está
accidentally
guay.
triggered a war after I stupidly opened the entrance to the game's complex underground cave
Pero la
network.
verdad es que no me quiero spoilear mucho más. Quiero que las cosas estas sean sorpresas, ¿sabes? Porque después me acabo informando tanto de los juegos que al final no me sorprende nada, ¿sabes?